I just want to do something short and quick that's gonna make me feel good in my body. So you can do this along with me. You can save it, do it later. You can start with your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Lean back, your hands are behind you. You're in a little bit of an angle. Take a big breath in. Open your chest, breath out. Take an inhale. Exhale, your knees come down to the right. Your left bum bone lifts off the floor. Inhale, knees up, over to the left. This is about moving through the range of motion in your hips. Some of you might find as you go over to the side, you get an interesting stretch along the outside of the thigh. A little bit of IT band. So go ahead, go through this a couple more times. You've got the weight into your hand. You're trying to inhale up. Exhale the legs over. And come back up to center. You can stretch your legs out in front of you. If you have a book or a block handy, you can grab it and lower yourself down to the ground. You're gonna start with your feet pushing into the floor. Lift your hips, slide that book or the block underneath your hips. Stretch your legs out in front of you. So you can see with the hips elevated, the front of your hips, your hip flexors are opening up. You can add a little reach, armpits open to the ceiling. And as you exhale, you soften. If you find any pain in your low back, you can keep your knees bent. We're gonna move into wind relieving pose, hugging your right knee into your chest. Hands interlaced below the kneecap. You can keep the left leg bent or stretch it out in front of you. So the beauty of this here with the hips elevated, the front of your left hip is opening. Now you can move your right knee towards your right armpit. So not only are we getting some really great hip opening and stretching, you can use a little bit of the strength in your arms, feel your shoulders pull down away from your ears, and additionally tone your tummy a little bit. As you inhale, you feel long. Exhale, try and hug your right thigh towards the outside of your rib cage. Come back in. You can hug both your knees into your chest. Kick your legs up. Roll your wrists. Oh, no, your ankles. You can roll your wrists too. That'll feel nice. Changing sides. Hug your left knee in. So start with the right sole of the foot on the floor. You can feel this. Then you can explore right leg stretching. It's a pretty, I find, amazing feeling at the front of your right hip. Particularly if you've been sitting. Take your opposite grip, that one that feels a little funky, on the other side. Slight tuck of your chin so the back of your neck is long. You feel your shoulders draw down. Soften the muscles in your face. So you do not have to add anything else. If you feel like you do want to put a little more energy into this, the elbows hug into the sides of your body. You inhale. And as you exhale, your left thigh moves more towards your left armpit. So you're getting that really nice compression in the left hip, right hip opens. Take one more breath. Let it out. One more time, you can hug both your knees into your chest. Lift the legs, roll the wrists, roll the ankles. Just feeling, letting the blood flow out of the feet, down. Soles of the feet plant, lift your hips up, cactus your arms, pull that block out from underneath of you. Hips down, feet walk wider so they're off your yoga mat. Repeat this twist. Look away from the way you're twisting. Slightly bigger, more dynamic version of the twist we started with. Going side to side, massaging the back of your head into the mat. Feels good in the neck. Passive and feel good movement for the hips. Take one more round. Feel that coordination through that twist in your body. You can roll onto one side. Use your hand to help you sit up nice and tall. And just take a moment as you sit up here. And so the last little thing to finish off happy hips, coming up into a downward facing dog. Always a nice full body movement. Pedal your heels. Nod your head yes and no. And then pause. Activate your legs. Even if your knees are bent, you can tone the muscles, your quadriceps. Spread your fingers out wide. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. And feel your low ribs hug in. The upper arm bones roll out. Feel the sternum bone lifting up. Take a breath. Exhale. Lower your knees down to the mat. You can step forward with your left foot. You're in a long, low lunge. So we're going to take this a little bit slower. When we go through our lunges in our flow practice, typically we're flowing, we're moving. So it's nice to spend the time. A low lunge with your left knee in line with your left shoulder. Take notice in your body. Everyone's hips are different. If you know you're tight, you're going to notice that as you come down, your hips pike up and back. So if that's the case, you definitely want to grab something to lift your chest up. Make sure that the knee is stacked over your ankle. And really just be patient, stay here, because we're trying to open up the front of that hip and that leg that's extended behind you. Your bum muscles, your glute muscles, so the leg that's behind you, your right leg, can you feel your right bum muscle activate? So it feels like there's a big hand pushing your hips forward. If your hands are on the floor, you have the choice. They can be inside the leg or framing the leg. There's still a little tone in your abdomen. The next step here would be moving into a dragon lunge where you do bring both your hands inside the left foot. You walk your foot a little bit wider. And we usually say turn the toes out. So that means, in this case with my left foot, they go towards the left. I've still got my knee stacked over my ankle. And to that matter, my knee is still in line with my toes. We don't really want to feel your knee coming one way and your toes going the other. So a lot of people prefer in dragon lunge to come down onto forearms. That's going to give you more depth. Again, if you want blocks or pillows, hold them in, put them under your arms. This posture definitely comes up in yin practice. Yin, when we hold things longer, we go a little bit deeper. Can you close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths? Noticing what part of your hips you're accessing. What's opening up? At the bottom of your next exhale, take your time to recover out of this position. Bring your weight back into your hands. Walk your left foot in line with your left shoulder. Tuck your back toes. Drag that foot back here in a tabletop. You can take a moment here. I like to feel my hips, both of them open after doing that posture. You can take a few circles, maybe an up dog or a baby cobra. You can bring your hips down. You can slide your forearms out in front of you. If you're feeling it, you push into your hands. You get the added bonus, a little heart chest opening. And then walk yourself back into a down dog. You can pedal out your heels. If you feel like you need a little energy, you can add in a flow. Do whatever you need to, and then lower the knees, step through, in this case with your right foot or whatever leg you haven't done. Starting in this low lunge. Lots of things you can do here. You can keep your hands on the floor. You can lift up onto your fingertips. You roll your shoulders back. Your heart chest opens. And instead of feeling the entire weight of your body dropping down, there's this feeling of lift. We sometimes say the word containment, meaning you're hugging your muscles in and up, lifting out of the joints. We're not overloading your joints by dropping weight down. Moving into dragon lunge, your hands come inside the right foot. You do a few walks with the foot, and you feel turning out of the toes, but that also radiates up the thigh bone. The thigh bone turns out a little bit as well. You're probably familiar with sometimes we do add a twist, and if you know you like that extra depth, absolutely go for it. Checking in that you haven't piked up and back through your hips and your bum. If you're here and you really do want a deeper stretch, you bend your back knee and you reach for the inside of the foot. For our more flexible friends, it's tempting to completely sink and really melt. We want to build strength simultaneously as we're stretching. So can you feel core muscles activate? Push your right foot into the floor a little bit. If you've got your hands inside the foot, shoulders away from your ears, breath in, breath out. And take one more full inhale and exhale. Walk your foot back in line with your right shoulder. Tone the tummy. Step back. You're at a tabletop. Lower the hips down, tummy onto the floor. Take a small little lift, baby cobra. And then it's your choice. Forearms slide out. There's your Sphinx. Push into the hands. Front of your hips open. Added bonus. Chest, heart open. Lower down. So to close off this little hip situation, push yourself up to a seated position. Then you can sit cross-legged. Feel your thighs open. Then you have the choice. You can cross your right leg over, like we do for seated spine twist. You can come into this half locust pose, shin bones over top, or your knees stack. This turns into a bit of a glute stretch. You can reach up and over towards the right. You can feel this radiate through your top fingertips, hopefully all the way down the side of the body, right into your left bum muscle. Check in that your hips haven't lifted off the floor, your bum bones are anchored to the ground. Really reaching, bending that bottom elbow as much as you need to. And come all the way back up. Roll the shoulders. Rock the way back, change your legs. So remember, you can be here, you can take a twist, you can cross the shin bones, ooh, and you can cross the knees. Plant the hand, reach up, big side stretch. Particularly that right bum bone anchors to the floor and then reach away. Right through your fingertips, feel a little more reach and pull and length, and then come on back. You can let your legs slide out in front of you. And in your comfortable seated position, you can shoulder roll it out. Hopefully quickly that made your hips feel happy. And we'll see you again for some more postures. If there's something